Hello, this is SRL Into Practice, and I am Charles Raphael, Content and Graphic Editor. SRL Into Practice is a series of video session conversations between an SSRL SIG leader and members of our professional community who are powerfully transforming SRL principles into practice in diverse educational settings and communities while promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. In this session, Jenny Mischel, a professor at SCAD, talks with Suzanne Hiller, director of the master's program in multidisciplinary studies in education at Hood College, particularly about the Blue Swallow Farm Foundation providing authentic STEM experiences for K-12 students. Please enjoy the session.
All right. Hello, everyone. Today we have the great honor of interviewing Dr. Suzanne Hiller. She is an assistant professor of education at Hood College. She's also the director of multidisciplinary studies. And finally, she is, and most exciting, the executive director of the Blue Swallow Farm Foundation, which we will hear about more today. So Suzanne has written a book called Mastering Science with Metacognitive and Self-Regulatory Strategies, a teacher-researcher dialogue of practical applications for adolescent students. And she has a book coming out in 2024 with Anastasia Kitsantis entitled Essentials of Research Methods for Educators. She also has numerous articles that she has published, and 5 of those are refereed journals. She has written 3 articles for this particular SIG and has done numerous presentations. So we're really excited and honored to have you here with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So first off, I'd like you to tell the listeners a little bit about your areas of research and what you've been doing recently.
Well, thank you so much. I focus on STEM achievement and career motivation for adolescent students, particularly in the outdoors. So most of the writing and research I've done is on citizen science, which is an activity where professional scientists ask hobbyists to help them with aspects of research like collecting data. And they do this because often they're examining very large areas or very large populations, and they can't possibly collect all the data. But there's other types of citizen science where the hobbyists have more input, like they help with design, interpretation, and even dissemination of findings. So I like to take children outdoors with scientists, and then I measure how that experience affects their identity formation, their achievement, their STEM career motivation.
Yeah, amazing. And I know you were recently in Charleston. Can you tell us a little bit about that study you've been working on?
Yes, I've been working with a company called Gaiaxis and their executive director, Dr. Dietrich Rollman, and he has created a very accurate water quality monitoring device. And it's a multi-sensor device, so it measures many things like pH, salinity, turbidity. But what's very unique about this device is while students are collecting data, the device has a GPS connection, and it can send students metacognitive prompts to help them analyze and interpret data. So the device could ask them, what does the salinity, what's the relationship between the salinity and temperature, for instance, or it could ask what the factors mean for an organism in the area. And also what's really nice about that tool is that the students don't have to log in, so there's no security risks. Mm-hmm. So I was doing a pilot study in South Carolina and hope to do more collaborations with that organization.
Nice. It's so exciting. And it's so great for the younger students too. It gets them excited about science.
Yes.
All right. So the main focus today is I really want you to walk us through and tell us more about the Blue Swallow Farm Foundation. So what is it? I know you're going to walk us through and pull up your website and show us some of the exciting features. So tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. So the impetus for the Blue Swallow Farm Foundation Center for Research and Instruction in the Natural World is to provide authentic experiences for K through 12 students, which hopefully translate into STEM career motivation. And we aim to do this with a three-pronged approach. First, with curriculum development, we are creating high quality lessons that educators can use not only in science, but in all disciplines, and also professional development for teachers who want to learn how to teach in outdoor classrooms or use natural specimens or an inquiry-based approach. And then in terms of professional development, we also hope to have workshops for early career researchers who want to learn how to measure the impact of outdoor education. And then finally, we have our research lens where we are conducting research as well.
Nice. And I'm going to speak from my own experience. Suzanne was my professor at George Mason, one of my favorites. And because of that, she continues to be inspiring. So I know she makes a difference in so many people's lives. So at this point, can you take us to your website?
Sure, I'll be happy to share my screen. So this is the website, and if you want to access it, because it's new, you may have to add www in front, but it's Blue Swallow Farm Foundation.org. And so on the site, you can find out about the missions and values, which I basically summarized. And there's also information about the board, and you'll notice Dr. Jenny Mischel is one of the board members, so we're grateful for her contributions. So this site has been created to help educators, administrators, and researchers access materials. So the first thing you'll notice is that we have a call for articles and lesson plans. So this could be, I know some people are watching this, maybe professors of pre-service teachers. If you have a pre-service teacher who's created a lesson that could be used in the outdoors, they would be very welcome to upload their articles and lesson plans. We ask that if someone does that they write a 500 to 600 word article about the content, because teachers need to know more than their students. So to elevate their understanding, and then with that submit lesson plans, and I'll show you some models that we have here. And
Suzanne, where could they, if they're interested in that, could you tell us how they could reach out to you?
Sure. So there's information about the submissions here. There's a lesson plan template. And then there's, we're going to ask that people write submissions _, authors, and title. And then you can email it here. You can email the article submission, and then there's a download for full guidelines. So if you want information about the structure, thank you for asking that. And so this is where they can submit their articles. Now you'll notice there's also a section for researchers. So some of you who are professors, if you're interested in sharing some of your knowledge about how to conduct research, especially ways to apply it to the outdoors, we'd be very interested in some articles as well, and I'll be showing you some models. And also, if you're a professor or researcher and you have a really talented student and want to collaborate or want to encourage them to write one on their own, we'd welcome those submissions as well.
And
So,
you have two people from the, is that where you're going next?
yes. So
Okay.
you have a researcher tab and educators and administrators. So for the research tab, here's the first two research articles we have. And the first one is from Maria K. De Benedetto and Dale H. Shunk from the University of North Carolina, who wrote about ways to conduct research in citizen science. So we're very thankful for that contribution. And then I wrote another one also just about the types of citizen science and aspects that should be included in citizen science projects if you want to measure STEM career motivation, particular things like you want to have protocol training, some sort of mentorship component, and then a focus on scientific observation skills. And then there are references included. So again, if any of you are interested in submitting an article, short 500 to 600 words, that would be very helpful. I also added a variable spotlight. Many studies that are conducted in the outdoors focus on environmental attitudes and behaviors, which is very appropriate. I wanted to provide other options if people wanted to integrate things. So I started with a short article on self-efficacy, but we could definitely use some contributions in terms of other ways to measure the impacts. So this is the section for researchers. And then, of course, researchers may be interested in the education side as well. So here we have our lesson plans. And again, we'll be having lesson plans not just for science. I have some students working on an outdoor lesson with coding. We have some people working on language arts and math components as well. So we welcome all subject areas. So I think I'll start with this one, this composting in a bottle. So this was submitted by Liz Marquette from Hood College. And so she wrote a narrative about composting so that teachers would have more background information. And so all of our lessons, once they're accepted, are put into a Blue Swallow Farm Foundation template. And teachers everywhere in the world can access this so that they can use it to teach their students. And then this student also made a very nice PowerPoint. Looks like we're not going to be able to access that right now. But we also have lesson materials here. So she created cards to help the teacher. So
amazing. And teachers can just go on the website and access all of this.
yes. So that was the goal, that people would have materials that they could use. We also have a section on outdoor classrooms. So this is a really fun article. There's a center called Claude E. Kitchen's Outdoor School, and they have a fire tower on the premises that's very tall. So they wrote an article about how they integrated this unusual feature in instruction, and they used this fire tower to teach watershed. So it's a big highlight when children go there because they climb up this very high tower and they can see the whole area, and then they do a lesson on watersheds. So we do have an outdoor classroom. We also want to make it clear that we do encourage technology, contributions. So there are many new technologies coming out that would be relevant to outdoor education. And this is one by Gyaxis. So you can see this is a screenshot of their water quality monitoring device. And so they have a description of the tool.
Nice.
And then also strategy spotlight. One of my roles has been to work for the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of Natural History. And when I worked there, I designed and taught lessons with 36,000 natural specimens. And you can use natural specimens to teach any subject area. It's just a matter of knowing how to do it. So I have a section here where I'll be adding ways to teach with natural specimens. And the first one I chose was, is it real? Children get very excited about natural specimens, adults do too. So, usually they go, is that real? So I wrote a little spotlight here on, how to address that when students ask it. And then finally, we have a donate button. So if you're interested in supporting Blue Swallow Farm Foundation, our goal is to have workshops for teachers to train them how to use natural specimens, how to use outdoor classrooms, how to use an inquiry-based approach. And then for our researchers, we want to form a network through workshops where we help students who are in the dissertation process, who want some mentorship and just want to talk with other people in the process. Also, we're hoping to have stipends for students who are getting their dissertations to help them. Sometimes working in the outdoors, you need things like transportation. Sometimes you need food for your participants, or you might need materials like nets or PVC pipes, depending on the situation. And so we're hoping to have stipends to help these students, and we'll have speakers and so forth. So that's where your contributions would go. So for those of you who are interested in helping the Blue Swallow Farm Foundation, the ways that you can help are to submit articles or encourage your students to submit articles and/or lesson plans. We also have a newsletter. So if you want to sign up for the newsletter, you can. And we welcome any kind of support. You're welcome to contact me at hiller@blueswallowfarmfoundation.org if you have any other questions or ideas.
And where would they go to find the newsletter? Can you walk us through that?
So if you go down to the page, I'm on the donate page, it says subscribe to our newsletter, and you can enter your email address. And so we're looking forward to hearing from some people and excited. Well, we're thinking about this a bit as a hub where we can connect. People are interested in promoting outdoor education, whether that be educators, administrators, researchers, scientists, professors. I think there's room for us all in this initiative. And we're looking
Absolutely.
forward to seeing where this goes.
Yeah, because there's such a big push towards STEM at the moment. And if you can make it come alive for students,
Mhm. Yeah,
right?
yeah. So there's some people who are also interested in just general well-being of students, benefits of just being outside. And having been a person who was able to work in a beautiful outdoor classroom, I felt it made a very large difference for my students in many ways when we were learning and teaching outside.
Yeah, I think this is amazing, and it's going to have a huge impact, not only on students, but teachers, researchers, administrators. It's really progressive and groundbreaking what you're doing. So this is really exciting.
Well, I appreciate your meeting with me today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Suzanne. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.